You don't lack confidence. You don't lack intelligence. You don't lack strength. But there is something you keep doing that quietly tells people your comfort is negotiable. And the most uncomfortable part of all is that you think it's being mature. So today, we're going to talk about 3 signs you might believe you have self-respect, but meanwhile, you're just shrinking. Here's the thing. Most women who struggle with self-respect, they don't look insecure. They look calm. They look understanding, right? They're emotionally intelligent. As a woman, you probably learn from a younger age how to regulate yourself, how to always control your emotions, especially in public, how not to lash out, how to always keep yourself grounded. But here's the thing. Self-control and self-respect are 2 different things. Sometimes we tend to confuse those terms. Self-control is regulating your emotions. On the other hand, self-respect is honoring your limits. You can be good at regulating your emotions, but on the other hand, you have 0 self-respect for yourself. Or you have self-respect, but you don't know how to regulate your emotions. See the difference? That's where the split happens. If you find yourself living a situation with a thought of, oh my gosh, I should have said something, you don't want to miss this next part. Let's talk about the first sign. That feeling when you notice that you should have said something, the comment out of place, that tone that felt dismissive, that behavior you've been tolerating that doesn't really feel right, that situation that makes you uncomfortable all the time. But instead of addressing it, you keep telling yourself, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's not a big deal. I don't want to make it worse. And what you do next? You smile, you swallow it just to keep the peace. And at that moment, it feels like being mature. It feels like being the bigger one in the room. But here's the thing. Maturity doesn't mean to let people walk over you. It definitely doesn't mean to become tolerant to the point where people feel comfortable disrespecting you over and over. Because every single time you choose silence to avoid confrontation, you're actually teaching people that it's okay. And don't get me wrong, there are situations where, yeah, it's better off just letting it be, right? There are situations where keeping quiet is the way to go. But it can't be all the time. Because if you allow someone to disrespect you over and over, then it's going to get to the point where you're going to lose your self-respect. Because if a friend keeps making comments that makes you uncomfortable and you keep letting it, if a friend keeps talking about you the way you don't feel comfortable, or you keep that person around you for whatever reason, what are you teaching yourself? You're teaching your own self that it's okay for anyone to come and walk over you. Do you think you're going to have self-respect for yourself? I don't think so. Because by doing that, guess what? You're teaching people that your boundaries are negotiable. And here's a very uncomfortable truth. It doesn't get easier unless you address them one step at a time. The reason confrontation sometimes feels heavy is because we are afraid of not being accepted. We are afraid of being looked at troublemaker. But who's a troublemaker here? The person that is offending you, or you stepping up for yourself? And I believe that's where the problem lies, right? Because we choose comfort, meaning we'd rather be with people that we deep down know they don't respect us, just to avoid being solo or just to avoid being criticized. But at the same time, you staying with them, it doesn't make you any better, right? You don't become a better person around someone that feels comfortable stepping on you. Because at the end of the day, all they do is take advantage of you. And as long as you allow them, they're going to keep doing it. So this is what I want you to always remember. Peace at your own expense is not peace. It's suppression. The next time someone says something that is out of line, I don't want you to explode, but I don't want you to ignore it either. Name it calmly, even once. That's how self-respect starts rebuilding. The next one, a lot of us are guilty of explaining our no's. When you say no, you're trying to over-explain why you're saying no. You're trying to justify it. You're trying to play the nice card because you don't want to come across aggressive. You don't want to come across not reliable. You try to make your boundaries comfortable for everyone else. But that kills the whole purpose of having a boundary. Because a boundary is about us, about our self-respect. But if you want to accommodate your own boundary based on everybody else's needs, it kills the purpose. It's like we don't trust saying no is enough. We're trying to over-explain it to the way that the other person gives us validation as to why we say no. And if you have to explain your boundary for over 5 minutes, just let it go. Because at that point, it's no longer a boundary. It's just a request for approval. And the thing is, when you're trying to set a boundary, you better be clear about what outcome you're trying to get. Because you know your friends, you know your family members, you know who's not respecting you. We all know who isn't respecting us, because when they do, we feel it. So that person, you already know who they are and how they are. So when you set your boundary, keep them in mind. So for instance, there is no point of me setting a boundary for a friend that likes to go out every weekend. And I will be like, oh, maybe this weekend I'm not going to go out with you. That maybe leaves a lot of doors open. My boundaries should be simple. From now on, I'm no longer going to be going out on the weekends. End of story. Now, it depends how deep your relationship is with the person. But in my personal opinion, if it's someone that is disrespectful to me, I don't have to over-explain myself. It's simple. Oh, I have something going on. End of story. Because the more you explain yourself, you're going to give them room to negotiate that with you. And if it's your first time trying, believe me, they're going to win. Because they've been taking advantage of you. They're actually pros on what they're doing. You are not yet. So don't open that door to them. And if you feel a little exposed right now, good. I'm glad you are. Not because anything is wrong with you, but awareness becomes uncomfortable before it becomes empowering. If you're in this stage of trying to build that self-respect, make it a habit to say no. Oh, can you take me? No. And stop it right there. Get used to that silence after saying no. And get used to people reacting to your new boundaries, because they were used to that version of you that was always available. That version of you that had no boundaries. That version of you they were taking advantage of. Obviously, friend, the moment you start saying no, it's not going to be something fun for them. So get used to that and keep building momentum. With that said, let's go to the next signal. Accepting inconsistency. This is the most damaging one if you ask me. The mixed signals, the incomplete tags, the sentences that are not finished, the silences that are not filled with the half efforts, unclear communications, you name it. And even though we can tell that something's wrong, we can see the red flags, we stop and start analyzing it. We start making excuses as to why that person might have done what they did. We start making excuses. Maybe you're overthinking, or maybe you're too sensitive. That's more damaging than anything else. Because besides the fact that there is an issue and it has nothing to do with you, you take ownership and you make it about you. All of a sudden, you're the one with the issue. So it's okay for them to disrespect you, or maybe you've done something to deserve it. But that's a lie, friend. That's a lie. That friend that is always canceling, you start thinking, oh, maybe she's just busy. Okay, busy is not a problem. Communication is the problem. That friend that doesn't respect your time, communication. And you keep justifying it. Oh, maybe I'm too harsh. Or maybe, oh, she's going through this. Or maybe blah, blah, blah. But what is she doing? She's taking advantage of your good heart. Don't get me wrong, that's a beautiful thing to have. But you know what's more beautiful? Boundaries. To have self-respect. And to demand people to respect you without forcing them. But you have to set your boundaries. And whoever wants to have access to you needs to be aligned to those. Needs to respect it. If that's your friend, they're going to respect it. And maybe, who knows, they can join you. So all I'm saying here is this. Patterns reveal priorities. Keep that in mind. If someone has done something once, okay, 2, 3, 4 times, and sometimes back to back to back to back, there goes your pattern. That tells you what's a priority for that person. If you have a friend that always cancels, not once, not twice, not 3 times, she's telling you what she needs to tell you. You need to read between the lines and make your own adjustments. Because every time someone shows you a pattern, and you minimize it, you actually override your own intuition, which is damaging to your self-trust. Because the thing is, self-respect is not about how loud you speak. It's about whether you believe yourself when you notice something's off. And I strongly believe that we don't lose self-respect in dramatic situations or dramatic occasions. I believe we lose it by micro adjustments, tiny little situations. One softened reaction, we swallow one boundary. Once those micro adjustments become repeated over and over, you start building a different self-image. Your needs become secondary. And guess what people will do? They will just respond accordingly. Maybe you're hearing this and you're like, oh my gosh, Dolly, I'm so weak. I feel so resonated with what you're talking about. I don't want you to think like that about yourself. This has nothing to do with you being weak. A lot of us got used to being this person because we were praised about how likable we are, about how compassionate we are, about how mature we are. You know, you probably found yourself being in a group of friends where you're the only one that has a good relationship with everybody else because your boundaries are flexible. You allow everybody to step on you. You were always the low maintenance friend and things of that nature. So that maybe allow you to feel that you were the glue that were keeping the friendship together. But it's not your job. Every single one of your friends or your family members has the right to put some work on their own. It's not your job to keep the glue together, especially if that means allowing everybody to step on you. And remember, self-respect doesn't require aggression. It only requires alignment. There is no need to become colder. There is no need to become harsh. There is no need to become rude or anything like that. Have a clear mindset. Have a clear goal. Set that goal. End of story. So I mentioned what you shouldn't be. But one thing we must do to make this work is one, we need to become very clear. I'm aware that clarity will cost you comfort, but at the same time, it will gain you stability on the longer run. And if you realize that you've been shrinking in ways you didn't see, that's actually a good thing because that means it's the beginning of your growth. And with that being said, if you need any help identifying where you've been overriding yourself and what actually matters to you, I created a free guide called Clarity Kickstart. It helps you get honest about your patterns without shame. I'm gonna leave it down below in my description box and I hope you like it. If you like this video, if something I said touched you deeply, first of all, I want to thank you for being here, right? For spending this time with me. Please subscribe. We are not just talking about motivation in this channel. We are rebuilding ourselves. We are rebuilding alignment one step at a time. And once again, thank you so much for stopping by and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.